All right, so I think I am live right now. Um, just wanted to test this out. I did not get to making a Saturday video this week, so I figured I would hop on real quick, start to test this live video out. I did a live video a few weeks ago with another YouTuber, but he was the one that orchestrated the technical aspect of it, and the video that he and I did together on my channel was just a recorded Zoom call. So I wanted to see how this works, to see if it's something that I can maybe possibly do in the future, maybe something that's on a regular schedule, maybe check in once a week or once every couple weeks. Because I didn't do a video this week, what I wanted to talk about were a couple things. So the MPGs that I've been getting since switching from my little test I did on the ethanol-free fuel, I'm back to 87 octane now. The winter MPGs have been the worst they've ever been, so I'm averaging just over 17 miles per gallon. I wouldn't call myself someone who has like a lead foot per se. I certainly don't drive like a granny, but although I'm sure there's probably some badass grannies out there that drive quicker than I do. But I would say I ride regularly, and quite often I'm in eco mode, which doesn't allow you to really gun it too much. You still can get up and go in eco mode, but I'm typically just, driving around at a pretty casual pace. So I don't know. I think obviously, as many of you guys have tipped me off, there's a winter blend with fuel, the cold, the elements, the snow. We just got a huge, massive ice storm here, so they've thrown pretty much everything at us here in Western New York this year, weather-wise. But you could literally ice skate in my driveway and on my street. It was that bad. Thankfully, we didn't lose power. However, a lot of people did, because the ice was just weighed a bunch of stuff down and brought down a bunch of power lines as it happens in an ice storm. But I don't know. You guys, if anyone watches this after the fact, there's probably not going to be too many people watching this live in the moment right now. But if this is something you guys want to see more of in the future, maybe something we can interact with in the moment, I'm happy to do these. As far as I can tell, it's pretty easy to go live here. I'm just curious as to what also you guys are getting in terms of your MPG in the winter. If you're using a specific fuel, obviously winter looks different for all of us depending on where we are in the country, but I know there's viewers in Canada that in parts of the Midwest that will have colder temperatures than my area, but certainly I get a lot of snow and ice and certainly winter temperatures here. So I would be curious to see if anyone else is getting better miles per gallon under the same circumstances or somewhat similar circumstances. So let me know about that. Another thing, I also I've been watching some YouTube videos on just the prices on the Ford F-150s in the 2023 model year, and I kind of have done a couple videos on talking about the pricing, and I priced out one and another one of my videos in terms of what what the prices have gone up considerably. The F-150 Lightning went up a huge amount, even on the base trim went up, I think like $8,000 or $9,000, or maybe not quite that much, but pretty significantly, to the point where you kind of go like, hey, wait a minute, where's that cost coming out of? So I was just wondering, for those of you who are watching this and perhaps have taken delivery of a 2023, what sort of deals are out there? Are you getting off of MSRP pretty easily? I imagine a lot of the 2023s coming in, for some of you, are going to have been customer orders, and maybe the stuff was negotiated beforehand. Obviously, there's certain things that happen with different incentives being on and available the month that you pick up the truck, so that could change things. But is any one of you out there who just rolled up to a Ford dealership And did you buy one off the lot? Because there's inventory to be had apparently. I've seen multiple videos of people talking about they've gone to their local Ford dealer, and there's not just F150s but other Bronco Sports and other vehicles sitting on the lot. The inventory levels are certainly not what they were during the height of the pandemic, and that makes it for a little bit more choice, and maybe for those honest dealers, maybe they're willing to admit that, hey, we need to start selling these cars and we're going to start marking them down a little bit and not making people buy at or above MSRP. I know when someone else commented on one of my videos saying that I got hosed, or I forget exactly what they said, that I got taken advantage of because when I bought my truck in May of 2022, when I picked it up, when I took delivery of it, I utilized the X plan because, well, at the time, the dealer, if there was any trucks on the lot, were selling for MSRP. They weren't discounting off of MSRP. And so the only way I could get anything off of MSRP was to sign up for the Mustang Club of America, which I did well prior to ordering the truck, so that I would have you have to wait 90 days before you can take advantage of their X plan as being a member of the club. And somebody said that I kind of the X plan maybe, or at least hinted that the X plan was that wasn't the best deal that I could have done at the time. I was under the assumption that it was. So I'm just curious, has anyone taken delivery of a 2023 and not used X plan or any other family plans, the Y or the Z plan, if you're a family member or you yourself work for Ford? Have you gone and utilized your negotiation skills, and have you gotten anything off of MSRP, whether it be $500 or multiple thousands of dollars? I'd be curious to know. I imagine there's going to be a tipping point when, because we're kind of at the crossroads of these higher interest rates, the higher inflation, where people maybe don't have as much disposable income. I know personally, our household here, we're feeling it because groceries are insane. Even for it's me and my wife here. We don't have any kids, and we're spending a lot more than we did 3 or 4 years ago on groceries for the same things. We're not eating anymore. We're not eating anything that's more expensive in terms of we didn't switch from eating hamburgers to eating filet mignon every week. But we're eating the same types of meals. It's just the cost of everything is more expensive. So with all of that happening all at once, and then maybe inventory becoming a little bit more available, there's going to be less buyers out there, is what I'm thinking. Maybe not. Maybe there's still people out there that are willing to overextend themselves and buy these trucks anyway and pay the inflated prices. Did Ford position themselves in a way why part of the reason maybe these price increases weren't necessarily warranted by supply chain issues? Maybe they were just anticipating that they knew that there was going to be a tipping point, and that they would have to start giving the illusion of discounts off of MSRP. I don't know. I'm not some great economic mind or anything like that, and that could be going down the road of conspiracy theories, or it could be something that they genuinely thought about and said, hey, we know that we want to try and keep these profits the same. Let's raise the prices, but then we'll give people we'll discount to what they were paying during the pandemic anyway at MSRP. Let me know what you think about that. If that's something that you think Ford would do. I mean, they're a business. There's a bunch of minds sitting in a room coming up with ideas for the next concept of car. Why wouldn't there be meetings also having to do with talking about profits, their business? Anyway, so yeah, that's kind of it. Like I said, this was just a test. I'm obviously not in my truck right now. It's parked in the driveway. I wasn't able to get out and do any sort of testing or anything recently. I'm trying to rack my brain for what my next video could be on. If you have any ideas on that, please. I'm always open to suggestions. I've exhausted a lot of kind of what I was personally interested in at the onset, and that was really having to do with the miles per gallon. And I think, I was getting about 2 miles per gallon better with the ethanol-free fuel in the winter prior to switching back to 87. But the price of the ethanol-free fuel is even more than premium fuel right now. So, and I didn't see that much of a difference between premium and 87 with the ethanol. So I'm thinking that I'm just gonna, realize that in the winter I'm going to get around 17 miles per gallon on the Power Boost, and then hopefully it will dip back into 21-ish range where it was in the summer once they switch to blended gas and then the weather gets better, it's less cold. I've noticed less electric miles on the end of each tank. I always note how many electric miles were driven, and it's definitely less now, but that doesn't surprise me based on batteries not performing as well in the cold. So that could be more of an impact on the miles per gallon than the actual octane rating and or the ethanol. It could just have to do with the fact that the battery is not kicking in as much as it does, because I'm not driving any differently. And if anything, I'm being a little bit more careful these days with more ice on the road. I guess I do dip into the slippery mode a little bit more, which puts it in 4 auto, which will then once again put more demand on the drivetrain and eating up a little bit more fuel. But for the most part, the streets have been pretty dry, and eco mode's been where I've been doing it. So, so maybe in the future, because this is my first live stream, they'll allow me to have a chat function enabled. I think because it's my first live stream, they're not allowing me to do that. So if anyone's watching this live right now, I can't see whether or not anyone's here, but I appreciate you watching live in the moment. If you think of it and you have something to add to the conversation, add it in the comments below. I'll comment on it. I'll give my insight into whatever you're talking about, even if it's not a question. and then others who watch this video and look at the comments can chime in too, and we can have a little conversation down there after this video has ended. So that's pretty much it. That's my week. Just busy with work in general. Still enjoying the truck. I'm sure those of you who are waiting for trucks, who eventually will get your trucks, you're going to be thrilled once you get yours, even if some of the things that you wanted to be in there are still missing, like I talked about in my other videos, based on the parts constraints that they're telling us they're having with some of these more, I guess, I don't know, the features that are a little bit more high-tech, maybe having to do with the chip issues and whatnot still. So, but you'll still enjoy your truck. I assure you will still enjoy your truck. It may be something that annoys you every once in a while when you think about it, but at the end of the day, you're going to be in your truck and you'll be using it for what you want. And, yeah, you paid a lot of money for it, and it'd be nice to have your butt being massaged while you're going up the road. But you still have your truck, and you're still able to do what you want with it and customize it. Do all those things. All right. Well, so I guess I'll end the video here. I have no idea how long that was, or if that was even remotely useful to any of you out there. But if people start to watch these videos a little bit more, I'll start to check in every week. I don't know if Sunday's a good day. Probably isn't. It's the most calm day for me, but I don't know how many of you are sitting in front of your computers or scrolling YouTube right now and would actually watch this live in the moment. Maybe possibly sometime later in the evening would be better, because it is almost near dinner time right now. So at least on the East Coast where I'm at. But all right, well, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video.